This playthrough is rated M for mature.
Ah, my new protege. So happy you could make it. You took your time about it, but I can see that you've made some real progress. Yes, you have.
Yeah, well, your concubines won't be progressing anywhere ever. From now on, you're on your own, and there's no escape.
Well, that was never my intention. I am in my realm here. You and your companions are my guests. Oh, it seems that you too have lost some friends along the way. How very sad. More than most, I know how fragile a friendly alliance can be.
The Knight will tear out your tongue just before he watches you die.
Let's see how well you do without all your slaves.
Let's find out. Greetings and salutations, viewers. While we're here with the finale of Bound by Flame. In the last episode, we finished off Black Frost's concubines, finished everyone's side quest, and now it's time to go into the astral plane to defeat Black Frost himself to hopefully save the world. And we're at the world, and hopefully locate the world heart somewhere around here. And in this fight, we actually get the help of all of our allies, which is very nice. Although, Black Frost has the ability to, like Mathras, to control your teammates, so sometimes he'll start controlling them with one in like a run ball or something like that. It really, it's kind of random who he might control. I think like each of the Black Frosts have like different attacks, like one's melee bound, one's magic bound, and then the other one's like range bound, if I recall. And it's a little annoying. Luckily, I guess technically Ronval's probably the best character to have him be controlled because since he does physical assault, physical damage on me, and I have really high resistance to that. Unlike if I was, unlike Edwin or Mathras was controlled, you know. Really need to finish him off. Must have knocked out, yeah, Vauldemare got taken out, so not too surprising, really. He doesn't have a whole lot of health. Most of the range characters don't. Now, where's Sybil? I don't know. She's supposed to be here, but yeah, might as well heal just because. Might as well. I've got all that for the finale. So. No, I guess I could have fire since Black Frost is I would say weak to it, but.
Very well. In 6,000 years of existence, I don't think I've ever had a day quite as interesting as this one. Vulcan, my dear, this was a fight that deserves to be included in the history books, and I will make certain that it is. You may count on me to tell future generations about your exploits, if there is a future, that is. But that, of course, will depend on you.
I guess that's what we're all fighting for. But I'm not finished yet.
Clearly. And that is precisely why we are here. Each Ice Lord possesses the means to gain access to the World Heart from his or her own palace. It would doubtless be prudent to borrow this one before the other Ice Lords have time to react. I would have loved to accompany you, but I fear your destiny is to continue alone. The World Heart obeys neither the same rules nor the same magic as does the rest of Vertial. What you find there will be exactly what you bring.
You mean I'm going to end up confronted by myself?
I hope for your sake it does not turn out to be a confrontation, but it is highly probable that what you find there will be familiar to you.
We'll see.
By the way, that's it. We beat Black Frost. This whole villain throughout the whole game, and his boss fight is split into 3, and all our allies beat the crap out of him. I guess that's cool because, you know, they actually help us, unlike some games where it's just you or one other person. But yeah, that's it for Black Frost. He's dead. So, you know, and we get 1 more level. We still have things to do, of course, but, you know, sure, let's activate the, upgrade the concentration ability. Why not? So I got a point for a level. Yeah, really nothing to really use it on. Sure, whatever. Yeah, I don't know where Sybil went. I wonder if it's a glitch in the game when she joins you, because she is supposed to be here too, but she's not for some reason. So, alright, whatever. And yeah, you can't even talk to anyone. You just have to go within what you bring. You know, the whole Star Wars reference. Yeah, I didn't expect that. So, alright, let's go into the World Heart and see if we can fix this thing, I guess.
You are come.
I said I would come.
But thou hast taken thy time. When thou didst flee, leaving me here at the mercy of these sorcerers, what didst thou think would become of me? Didst thou e'en take time to think?
I don't know what you're talking about.
He speaketh to me.
What? Since when did I... You...
I did not lie to thee. I had no choice. I had to seize this chance to escape and find a way to fight back, lest we be enslaved here for all eternity. Eternity? Dost thou know how slow the hours pass when thou art the prey of 6 humans, consumed by their lust for power and vengeance? I know this as well as thee. Thou dost not. Thou knowest nothing. I too made use of the confusion. I riposted. I struck back at them, weakened them. But thou hast abandoned me to them. But now I am returned, and together we will crush them. Is't true? Thou art returned.
As we fight ourselves inside. I'm surprised no one's made YouTube poops about that line of dialogue at the very beginning where, you know, he says, "You are come." I told you I would come. I'm like, no one's ever brought that up, or that's hilarious. Like, I don't know. But anyway, looks like we have to fight Aeolus and Sybil. Why? All right.
Like such a tough guy, yet you were so easy to manipulate. A shy smiler too, and you were eating out of my hand.
What the hell?
You think that I have forgotten that you didn't lift a finger to save my father?
You let that sorceress get away just as soon as you were no longer of any use to her. You have no control, no authority, no charisma.
You're just about as disagreeable as you were when you were alive.
You weren't even able to keep safe those few who begged you for help. How can you possibly believe you have what it takes to save all of Vertiel from the Ice Lords?
Well, I don't know. I guess I could just leave, not deal with it.
That's it! Run away! Run away with your tail between your legs like you always do!
So, so yeah, this one's kind of an interesting one because the deal with failure. So how do you deal with failure? Do you, you know, deal with it as in physically, or do you just like leave it be? But yeah, just leave it. So why? Yeah, you can either kill him or run away from him, so you don't have to actually fight them at all. So
The company could have been yours, but you preferred to take it by force and condemn the freeborn blades through your pride and incompetence.
Captain.
You want to be the captain? You didn't even have the brains to make good decisions where you alone were concerned.
yeah, Ron Vol didn't have anything to say. All right. Yeah.
That's right. Run away, cowardly beast. You'll never think of any but yourself.
Yeah, and the same thing. You either defeat them or leave. Yeah, I run away from responsibility.
I must thank you. Without your weakness and crass stupidity, I would never have had such a good opportunity to finish with that whining elf.
By the way, if you don't kill Edwin and you kill Relmar instead, he'll be here instead of her. So it just swaps out the two characters depending on who betrayed you, I guess. So yeah, we could just run away from treason too. So yeah, she doesn't say anything to us as if we avoid it. So. Alright, it's time to deal with the demon, or the world heart, I guess, or whatever you want to call it. Whoa, yeah, this guy's kind of heinous. The corrupted spirit of the world heart. Yeah, if you haven't already figured out, the demon is basically like a manifestation of the world heart, for all intents and purposes. So, all right, this guy can be a bit of a danger, so you have to be kind of careful. Oops, I pressed changed out my. Okay. Especially in his dagger form, he's like super fast. You have to be really careful about this one. I mean, luckily I have a. Woo, yeah. Especially on Captain mode, this guy's a bit salty. So let's try it again. Luckily we can just skip through the cutscene. So there we go. All right, try it again. I wouldn't say this guy's super difficult, but even on. Alright, let's see if we can get far enough way to. Yeah, fortunately, using some of your abilities. Yeah, it definitely doesn't give you a chance to activate. Oops. There we go. Oof. Yeah, okay, bad call. Shouldn't have done that, so. Alright, one more. Let's try it again. Yeah, this might take me a few tries just because on this difficulty. Like I said, because of how fast he is. Yeah, the problem with him is figuring out like when to dodge, actually, because since he's so fast, it Whoa. Oh, I actually didn't mean to activate a trap or whatever. Yeah, I gotta run away from him during this phase. It's a lot easier if you're a ranger class. So hopefully you unlock the run ability in the ranger build. There we go. Yeah, he can be affected by traps. Whoa. Ah. Back off. Oh my god. Whew. Okay. Let's heal again. Ah, he didn't get knocked over that time. Oops. Yeah, gotta. Sorry if I'm not talking too much. I'm trying to focus. Like I said, this guy's a little bit tougher because of the difficulty. If I was playing normal mode or easy mode, yeah, this guy would not be a problem at all. Woo! And quit throwing balls of light at me. How dare you? Woo! Let's play ball, shall we? Now do I need to get... I have to get... Wah! I have to get closer to him, maybe. Yeah, might have to do that maybe. Let's heal again. Haha. Back up, man. This is why I bought a bunch of traps and everything, so just because of the trouble he gives me on this difficulty setting. I've only done the expert difficulty or captain difficulty once before, a long time ago. I just remember it being very annoying to do. Not super difficult. It's not the worst difficulty I've ever played. I'm not sure what the hardest game I've actually played on certain difficulties is. I mean, obviously, some games are actually well designed for that difficulty mode, but this one, not so much, I guess. Or maybe I'm just so used to it that it doesn't seem as bad. Okay, yeah, I'm going to get up close to him and attack him just to force him to do something. And not just stand there the whole time. But and you gotta be careful with that guy. He's... Whoa. Hey, whoa. Ah, no, didn't take advantage of it. Oh, is he running away like little punk? Alright, it's final boss time against his final form, the dragon, or whatever. Let's see. Let me see if I can get close enough to it. This fight's a little bit easier if you have the crossbow with you, because then you can hit his, well, on the other difficulties anyway, because then you can just hit him from range. But yeah, we basically have to destroy his hand and, hand and legs. Because then you can just zap his, okay, I'm supposed to be able to hit his legs, but it wasn't letting me for some reason. Now he's doing quite a bit of damage to me. Woo! Ah! Okay, let me heal again. Okay, let me see if I can... Yeah, the dragon's going to be like blasting light balls or whatever you want to call it from above. Whoa! No! Oh, watch out! Yeah, you gotta be careful with that dragon's ability. Where did I put the? Did he run into it already? Huh? Where's the? Whoops! Whoops! No. Ha! Nope. Ah. Dang it. Ah, no. Yeah, I gotta be careful on this difficulty. Yeah. Uh-oh, right. You can't hurt, you can't hurt him in this, when the dragon's on screen. Probably should have bought a few more crossbow bolts, now that I think about it. Oh well. I need to get this up again. There you go. Alright. Oh no! Yeah, the dragon got on me, jerk. Oof. Alright. Run. Yeah, this is why I bought a bunch of potions too, just because. Oh no, come on, no! At least I'm glad that the game actually lets you use like traps and stuff like that for the final boss, because most game wouldn't let you do stuff like that. It just wouldn't be prudent. Whoa! I hate how he just gets up on me like that. All right, I have to finish him off or attack his form again. There's his, oh. I remember him doing that, like, hurts, does a lot of damage to me when he does his, like, breath and that, whatever that one ability is. Yeah, see what that mist or whatever you call it does a lot of damage to me. That's why if you have a decent amount of crossbow bolts, it might be better to, whoops, actually didn't mean to do that. Finish him off before his breath comes back. There he is. Oh no, get back here. Dang it. Yeah, this is a lot more interesting of a fight than the fight during against the worm in Mars Warlocks, because that was technically the final boss of the game, really, when you think about it. Just because of how whoops. Because of how easy the actual like final encounter is. You're like, let's just call this the final boss fight, shall we? Oof. Yeah, I'm sorry. I have a bad habit of repeating my lines of dialogue there. I'm not fighting you head on, buddy. At least not with a good backup plan, at least. At least I can somewhat dodge the just regular attacks if I don't run fast enough. Gotta get it. I'm trying to get him to stop doing that. Whew. Looks like he's back to this form again. Yeah, depending how much damage or how fast you can beat him, you could probably beat him before he does this multiple times. But unfortunately, because I'm on this difficulty, I have to do this multiple times. So yeah, you definitely, if you're playing captain mode, you definitely want a ton of health and everything to be able to survive this fight. back up. Yeah, he's using his breath, as you can see there. Oops. Really drains your life. No. Yeah, I don't know why it's not the crossbow thing isn't working. It's supposed to hit the hand from far away, and it's supposed to work, but for whatever reason, it's not. I don't know why it does that sometimes. I guess a flaw of the game engine or whatever. I do like the music for the end. I don't know why. It just seems appropriate. Good thing I have. Oh, and there's. I don't think any the light balls have a particular weakness, like you know, like if you have magic resistance, that type of thing. I'm not sure. I think it just does whatever normal damage. There you go. There's the dragon gone again. Yeah. How many times we're gonna have to do this? I keep hoping I get like some poison on him so I can actually do extra damage to him. I'm so glad my trap ability activates pretty fast. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna have to get up on him. Anyways, I'm trying to get him out of this one form so he'll come after me, so he'll activate the trap. Might as well activate multiple traps just in case, so I don't have to do this later. Ah, no! Are you serious? I didn't even get a chance to hit him this turn. Aw, man, come on. Fine, whatever. I only got to him like once, and then he was stuck in range mode. I'm actually running out of health potions. I actually thought I bought enough. But maybe I should have just bought enough to just go out of my go overweight, you know what I mean? Right, seriously, bro, get your head down here. There we go. Yeah, I'd hate to. Just in case. Oh, man. There we go. Alright, come on over here, buddy. Heal! Heal! I might just have to get in on him. There we go, at least I got some poison on him. Yeah, sorry if I'm like not chatting as much as I'd like. I'm just trying to not die and so close to the trap. Oh man, I keep just like not doing enough to him. I should have maybe I should have tried to use a fire on him or something like that. Actually, I think if I remember, Pyroblast actually is supposed to be super effective against him if I remember correctly. But since I don't have a very good then again, I haven't been using much of my magic, so I might as well use whatever I've got. Wait, what? It's still. Aw, come on, man. Whoops. I thought I hit him before he did the whole. No! So close. Oh, I actually didn't mean to activate. Yeah, whatever. That's fine. Juice. Come on. He's almost done. That's the thing. Like.
I knew that thou wouldst allow these humans to corrupt thee.
A dragon? You summoned a dragon?
Ha! One of the few they were able to corrupt, and I turned it against them. Blackstorm defeated it and imprisoned it here. It was trapped, like me.
So now you turned it against me.
It is thee who has turned against me, abandoning me here, left to pay the price for each and all of thy errors in thy stead, whilst I did all I could to help thee to return. And so it is, I am come to the end of my strength, an empty shell o'ertaken with rot. I did not wish to harm thee, but I no longer am master of all that I do.
Is that why you killed my companions?
The visions? Blame rather thy human half, for that is who hath invoked them, with its fear and its regrets. Thy companions never traveled through the breach.
So it comes to this. You and me. It's time we ended this.
Ha! It is all I have awaited. Remove these accursed lances from me, and let the world heart become whole once more.
Alright, with him defeated, it looks like we have one final choice to make to decide the fate of the world. And luckily, the game lets you save it, just in case you want to see variations on the ending. So, let's see what everyone has to say.
So this is what the world heart looks like.
Yes. Terrible and magnificent. Nothing that I ever read could have prepared me for this vision.
I just hope that in spite of everything, your knowledge can help me. Because I have absolutely no idea what I should do.
Faced with any kind of choice, it is impossible to be sure of making the right decision. No one can see all the consequences of their actions on the future. But what I can tell you is that the entity within you is a piece, a limb, torn from the world heart by its own will. By sending part of itself to Vertiel to inhabit a living body, it knew it would be protected until it was possible to get that part back. But while it was incarnate, the demon saw what we have done to the world, what terrible damage intelligent beings are capable of. Alas, I fear that now it wants to destroy everything, wipe the face of the world clean of our corruption, rather than risk that it should happen again. You must free Vertiel from the Ice Lords and break their link with the World Heart, but do not abandon us to the demon. If you let him return to his source, he will certainly regain his strength, but all who live will be destroyed. He will take revenge for what men have made him suffer. None will be spared. And you will die. And I want you to live.
Well, thanks for that suggestion, Sybil. I know you're the soft-spoken girl who was like had courage in between, but unfortunately the game never really does a good job of pushing that. The fact that you never get a confrontation with Edwin for killing your father, despite what he did, kind of dropped the ball on that one. But still, I appreciate the effort. So, all right, what does the knight have to say?
We're here, Ranvil. This is the World Heart.
The heart of the one who is just is often plagued with doubts, but it always speaks true at the last. When faced with the ultimate choice, the mercenary will remember his duty, and all will be resolved. The life of the knight has been spared by his friend. Now it is the fate of the world that is at stake. The faithful friend will remember his duty. The Iced Lords must perish.
Thank you, Ronval, for being there, the stoic man who had lost so much and thought of only of killing himself, but in glorious battle. But with us, he had survived till the end, and I hope you'll continue to have more adventures, or whatever you want to do after that. So, all right, where's let's talk to Relmar, but where's Mathras? Well, Mathras said he couldn't come with us, so yeah, kind of a disappointment, but what can you do? But anyway, let's see what Relmar has to say.
The World Heart. We made it.
I would like to congratulate you in person, but I'm only a reflection. Today the living are not the masters of Virtual. You can save them, lead them, or destroy them.
The choice is yours. And I pray the demon inside you does not make it for you.
You have saved the soul of my prince, and thereby that of my entire people. It is possible to do the same for all of Virtual, if you can get rid of the Ice Lords.
Well, thank you, Relmar, for being there, for being a voice of reason, for trying to be loyal to elves, so loyal that you'd break from their top lead to save the world, but still believe in the elves, especially Prince Arundel, and then you had to step up to, if everything goes right, maybe you'll end up leading the elves because, Prince Arundel died off screen. Yay, thanks for that. So, with what my companions have told me, it sounds like the clearly obvious option to this is to save the world. But is that what we can do, or do we have another option?
The flame will burn bright anew, and the necromancers will be the first into the fire.
And then if you ask the advice of your companions...
No, not yet. I can't decide for the moment. Not alone.
You just get to talk to them again. But anyway.
The flame will burn.
Okay, so you have two options to end the game. And yeah, this is one of those cases where some decisions change. Obviously, we get to this point, but really there's only two paths in the game. The human path and the demon path. If you have a demon path, you have two semi-different options. And if you're on the human path, you can either choose to rule the world or to heal the world. Well, obviously... we want to take over the world. This is why we did it for. All right, let's do it.
We don't need to go that far. All we need is to remove these spears, and the necromancers will be left powerless.
As powerless as when they enslaved the World Heart? No, it will not suffice. They must be annihilated.
I'll track them down. The Dead Walkers will be gone. The survivors will have a chance, and Virtiel will be rebuilt, little by little.
Little by little, it would take centuries, nay thousands of years for thy world to rebuild its energy. The World Heart hath not been remade whole. Thou must permit me to rejoin with mine other half.
So that you can take over and burn Virtiel? No thanks. I am the most powerful being in the two worlds. I have got responsibilities.
Thou wouldst use me to reign over them, as did the necromancers. How long dost thou imagine that I shall allow thee to use me in this way?
I don't know, but you better get used to it. You were the one talking about centuries and thousands of years before our worlds can be rebuilt. And I plan on being right there to keep an eye on them. Meanwhile, do me a favor and let me enjoy this victory in silence. Do you mind?
And thus we took over the world, right? All right, so let me, I'll do this credits things here in a second. Let me go back and reload it, what happens, what the dialogue is if we choose the other one, so. let's reload the World Heart and choose to heal the world instead. So, yeah, unfortunately, that's pretty much the end. Like, it does that, and then it's the credits, so... I'll go over that one when the credits run, by the way, how I feel about this game overall.
The flame will...
Alright, no, this power must be used to heal Vertiel, whatever the costs.
If I remove these spears, the Ice Lords will lose their power. But what will happen to Vertiel?
Thy world is weary, all but extinguished. Nothing remains to be saved. It must be cleansed.
But inside me is all the power I need to regenerate my world.
At the cost of mine? Do not think it. Vertiel needs the World Heart. Thou canst not sacrifice it thus.
There are still dragons, and this way the necromancers will be destroyed. The fire of the World Heart is not completely out. It will burn bright again, in time.
But without us, I forbid thee to do this. I will not die for thee.
And so ends the tragic, though nonetheless heroic tale of Vulcan Half-Demon. I confess I may have romanticized some aspects of the story, though in my defense, I shall always have something of a soft spot for our dear Vulcan. By releasing the World Heart's energy to the surface, he sacrificed himself in order to heal Vertiel and bring an end to the long winter. Ill-prepared for such a powerful energy surge, the Ice Lords were instantly reduced to cinders. I can tell you, no tears were shed at that funeral. Of course, it was only a few centuries before other would-be mages attempted to follow in their footsteps, though what wonderful centuries they were. With Captain Buffalo leading them, the Freeborn Blades legend grew, and they flourished for a time. Sadly, the legend of Buffalo's immortality proved less than accurate, and after 27 battle wounds and another 40 or so years, he eventually died in his bed, to the great sadness of the three charming young women who were sharing it with him at the time. Edwin's corpse was mutilated and burned by the command of King Relmar. Such a waste. I remember being quite disappointed at his decision, as I had hoped I might be able to inhabit her body. It had been an absolute age since I was last inside a woman. To no one's great surprise, Relmar proved to be a formidable monarch. Strong, just, and loved by all. He returned a sense of pride to the elves that the war had stolen from them. He often spoke of how much he missed his outlaw years while being forced to sit through long meetings and dealing with political wranglings. But he was greatly helped by the knowledge and wisdom he gleaned from Arundil's Soul Stone, and he went on to found his own dynasty. The Red Scribes... Oh, really? Don't get me started on those imbeciles. Nonetheless, it would be uncouth of me not to mention how heartbroken young Sybil was by Vulcan's death. Proud to have fought alongside such a courageous companion, the beautiful young scribe lifted her head high and transformed her grief into purpose. She quickly gained the respect of her peers and was elected chief scribe shortly afterwards when Liestas died quite suddenly. Apparently, the fool succumbed after having imbibed a large quantity of a somewhat questionable nectar that he and his doctor had invented. And as for myself, well, my goodness. I fear that is an extremely long story, and you would quite literally die of boredom before I finished the telling of it. But you see, that's what I like so much about mortals. Their stories last just about the right amount of time, give or take a few decades, and then they're done. And then they come around again. One thing is certain, I have all the time in the world. So who knows? I may get to tell you other tales, if you live long enough. Toodle-pip.
And thus ends Bound by Flame, the good ending. So yeah, if you choose the bad ending, then it just kind of ends. You don't even get some dialogue saying like what happened or what you did to control the world, but I like at least Mathers kind of reading some of it. And some of that changes slightly a bit depending on what your relationship with the characters are, or if you complete their side quests. Like the story's a bit different for Sybil if you didn't romance her, for example, and Realmare's story is slightly different if you didn't get Arundel's Soulstorm. You like skip that side quest. That it slightly adjusts his ending a little bit. And then obviously if Edwin survives and Realmare's dead, that has a whole ending as well that's different. And obviously the ending is different if you choose to be a demon, because there's two versions of the demon ending where you can either purge the world or control it. So that's its own little thing as well. But yeah, overall this game is a mixed beast for me overall. Mainly because, you know, the combat for the most part is very fluid. You know, same with like Mars Warlogs. They even improved upon it. You know, like the stealth is a lot more useful. I like the fact you can use traps pretty effectively, crossbow bolts, stuff like that. And it gives you quite a bit of options for money. It gives you a ton of gear, so you've always got something new. And a ton of weapon drops, and plenty of times ways to increase your levels. Like I said, I got to 26, but I bet you could get to maybe 27 or 28 by the end of it if you really tried. The game is weirdly just long enough, but also not long enough, if that makes sense. And you can tell by the end of the game that they either had to rush it or something was going on, because you could tell like the first and second chapters they try to put like a bit of oh yeah, there's the voice actors, yeah, Robert Atkins Downs and all the others. Thank you for the work. Yeah, some of it was kind of cheesy relining, because Atkins, Robert, has done a lot better voice acting before, and he was okay in this, but he's done better later on or in other games. So not that the voice acting in this was terrible, I mean, but there were some bad, kind of like some okay line reads, you know, from certain characters, some more than others. But yeah, like the game had a lot of potential, but yeah, you could tell at the very end that they were either had to rush the game or something, because the final chapters just feel so rushed. Like it was just like, oh wait, bam, Black Frost Forge, which is, you know, here we go. We don't even get to fight the other Ice Lords, which story-wise they kind of explain why we don't fight them. We just fight one of them, the one that was named. But that would have been cool. If the game was longer, you probably could have fought multiple Ice Lords maybe and defeated them and then fought Black Frost, because I feel like he was being set up to be the main one to defeat. And then obviously fighting and I thought the World Heart boss was cool, fighting the demon at the end. We'll just let the credits run again. And I like the music in the game. I wish the characters were a little bit more interesting. For the most part, there wasn't really a whole lot to them. I guess it was just enough, but I was hoping for something a little bit more. Like I said, Mathras was the more interesting villain, and then you'd think Edwin would have been super interesting, which she is to a point because of what she is, but we don't get really enough. I guess when you choose the demon path, you get a bit more of that, but still, it's just, if you choose that she's the betrayer, then it just kind of comes out of nowhere that you say she's the White Lady. I'm like, where was the scene where we figured out that she was the White Lady? The whole Mathras dialogue is supposed to technically happen after us encountering Edwin, you know, again, and killing her, which was kind of brutal, really, in a way. Strangler here. In the grand scheme of things, it's not too bad, but no, it was very visceral in its own way. At least that's how I felt when I played it. But yeah, I kind of wish the game had just been a little bit longer, maybe gotten a little bit more polish. Eventually, the Spiders company, they did kind of eventually polish it a little bit more in their games, like Technomancer and Greedfall for sure. And you can tell Greedfall did really well because they've already got, at least by the time it's recording, they've already got a sequel in the works, from what I understand. And that's why I kind of like this company, like overall Spiders. They're really good AA title developers, not quite AAA, which nowadays with how things have been going, I prefer AA or indies titles because they have a little bit more heart and they're trying to tell us some type of story despite all the flaws of the game. Because this game has a lot of flaws, like I said, story, the game being rushed. The difficulty isn't captain mode really isn't that difficult really. I mean, yeah, the last fight was a little tough, but it didn't, you know, just a little bit of perseverance and running around fix that. Obviously, if I was playing a different build, it might be a completely different story. And then obviously the two paths, like at least in Mars Warlogs, there was, well, let's see. I mean, technically there's only two different stories as well in that one, depending on which path. So this is the same here, except the path split's a little bit sooner. It's at the end of Act 1 or whatever you want to call it, where you choose your demon form, and I didn't even show that off. I might, I don't know if I'll do it right immediately. I might come back later and do the other path. I don't know if I'll play through the whole thing because a lot of the story beats are similar except for certain bits. But what I might do is I might just switch to female Vulcan and show off her voice line acting as well as showing off some of the different dialogue if you're a female Vulcan. It's not a whole lot different, but there are some slight variations on it. And obviously, who you can romance as female Vulcan, which is Ronval, and I guess Relmar and Edwin are romanceable by either male or female Vulcan. I guess I could have swore they still had the separate ones. Maybe because I know in Greedfall they have the one where it doesn't matter who you are, which version of the main character in that one you could romance anyone. It's been a while since I played Technomancer. I don't remember that one specifically. But yeah, overall, like I said, I do like this game a bit. I wouldn't call it like a 10 out of 10 or anything like that. This is definitely a mid-tier game. But I grew up during the PlayStation 1 and PS2 era game. Well, actually, technically I grew up during the Super Nintendo era. But a lot of my fond memories of a lot of interesting games was from the PS1 and PS2 era. Because the PS2 era had a lot of, and the PS2 era was basically early 2000s to like 2007-ish, I would say. It had a lot of really mid games that weren't AAA, and a lot of really interesting games came out during that time. And this company really reminds me of that time where they made a lot of interesting games that weren't 10 out of 10s, but they were 6 and 7 out of 10s. And sometimes those were good games, depending on what you're looking for or a different type of experience. And I think they really I think they kind of mastered the AA experience, if that makes any sense. And this game definitely kind of represents a lot of what they were working on. I think this game sold okay, if I remember correctly, but too bad. Yeah, too bad it just felt so rushed at the end. Like I said, the only problem is the way it ended, or the final scene seemed just kind of like they had to push the game out or something like that. Maybe they were running out of money or something like that. It's hard to say. So, but yeah, overall, I still enjoyed this experience, and obviously playing on captain mode gave me a bit more frustration. But like I said, if I was playing normal or easy mode, there wouldn't be any challenge. I would just steamroll through the game. And I wanted to make it a little bit more interesting, and hopefully enjoyed me dying multiple times, multiple locations. I tried to get better, and it did get better for a while, and then I had some trouble there at the very end with some of the difficulty spike. Maybe if I was playing the warrior class, maybe I would have done a little bit better. But I don't know. I like the ranger class, just being able to sneak and run around and stuff like that. So, but yeah, overall, like I said, in the end, I would give this game a 7 out of 10. A very solid action RPG experience, very interesting world. Wish it had been a little bit better polished, or at least the story didn't get rushed at the very end, and maybe a little bit better characterization. But overall, an enjoyable experience, and I hope you all enjoyed it too. If you get a chance, maybe try it out for yourself. Maybe try a different build from what I did and see how that goes. And like I said, and if I feel like it or people are interested, maybe maybe sometime, I won't do it now, but maybe sometime down the line I'll show I might just do maybe an extra video, like what happens if you get to the end as a demon. But there are some nuances before that, like a couple of choices. Like if you choose to be a demon, then don't join Prince Arundel. Then you still go to the same area, but you have different quests and people interact differently. And you look a bit differently too, because you accept the powers of the demon by that point. So yeah, at some point I'll do that. I won't do it now, but maybe sometime down the line I'll do I'll just start when you. I'll start back at when you can choose to become a demon and just kind of continue them there. But I'd probably choose an easier difficulty just to get to the story beats faster, so we can rush to the end for the most part. But yeah, overall, like I said, enjoyable game. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, I do eventually want to play the rest of the Spiders games. Right now, there are some ones from their old game library that I haven't played, like Avalon and I think it's like of Orcs and Men or something like that was another one that I haven't played. It was before Mars Warlogs. But I definitely want to play Technomancer at some point and Greedfall, and then their new one about the French dancer, the Souls-like game or whatever. But that'll be sometime down the line. For now, this game is over, and I'll leave it there. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next game.